Welcome to this special feature from the Rose and Scroll Fine Gun Journal. We're sharing this piece free for all readers as a small glimpse into the kind of stories and craftsmanship we celebrate every week. If you'd like to unlock the full archive, become a Rose and Scroll member today. You can now experience Rose and Scroll features on the Kindle app, beautifully formatted, richly illustrated, and ready whenever you are. A matched pair of Colt 1911 pistols by Mike Dubber. The Gangsters, featuring Al Capone and John Dillinger. They were the twin pillars of America's criminal mythology, two men on opposite ends of the underworld's moral spectrum, yet forever linked in legend. One ruled with a cigar in his mouth and a bribe in his pocket. The other ran with a revolver and a clock ticking down to the next escape. Al Capone and John Dillinger, icons not just of crime, but of the American obsession with it. This matched pair of Colt 1911 pistols, engraved by Mike Dubber, a master engraver of the Firearms Engravers Guild of America since 1984, tells their stories not on film, but in steel. Each pistol was built in the original 1911 military configuration, just as the model was delivered to the US Army in its first year of service. The serial numbers are consecutive, the format identical, but the treatment of each gun could not be more distinct. Both are operas in steel. Capone's a brassy Chicago overture, drenched in gold and infamy. Dillinger's a stiletto-paced noir, etched in grit and velocity. Together they form a mythic axis of American crime. Two legends in opposition, two names the public never forgot. Together, they are the Gangsters, an engraving set unlike any other. The Capone Colt is a gangster's biography in steel, flamboyant, ornate, deliberate in every gesture. This pistol is the grand opera of organized crime. Each line was hand-cut by Dubber in traditional relief, his graver carving not just scroll, but story. On the right side, gold-inlaid figures march through history. The St. Valentine's Day Massacre of 1929, the beer trucks that fueled the beer wars, and the shadowy silhouettes of Tommy gun-toting men in fedoras. A gold scroll banner reads, "Prohibition," and beneath it all, the phrase "Public Enemy Number 1" anchors the entire slide like a title card. America's Most Wanted, not just for murder and racketeering, but for the brazen showmanship with which he did it. The left side is the fall. Here, Alcatraz is engraved in full relief, the infamous island prison where Capone served time as inmate number 85. Above the skyline, a banner reads, "The Rock Islanders," flanked by a banjo, a subtle nod to the inmate band Capone led while behind bars. Beneath the ejection port, one word dominates: Scarface, etched in bold gold block. It was the name he hated most, yet the one history never let go. Just below the hammer, a golden dollar sign is inlaid into the slide, a fitting symbol of the empire he built and the price he paid. On the top strap, a portrait of Capone himself, confident, well-fed, suited and armed, fills a golden oval. He cradles the Thompson submachine gun like a crown prince with his scepter. The deep scrollwork flows around him like smoke curling through a jazz club, stylish, dangerous, and unforgettable. And at the rear of the slide, his name in gold, Al Capone. Not subtle, not restrained, exactly as it should be. The ivory-styled grips are fitted in high polish, with the right panel bearing a lifelike engraved portrait of Capone in his prime. Hat cocked, smiling like a man who knows the law can't catch what it can't pin down. The left panel is left clean, a moment of visual silence amid the opera. Capone himself owned a government-issue Colt 45, an engraved piece now known as Sweetheart, and displayed at the Mob Museum. But this pistol isn't a replica of that. It is a weapon that tells a broader story, a story that can only end in handcuffs, exile, and an empire fading into myth. Mike Dubber didn't just engrave a gangster, He etched a moment in time when crime was as theatrical as it was brutal, and when the Colt 45 was as much a character as the man who might carry it. Where Capone's pistol is a symphony of control and corruption, Dillinger's is jazz on the run, lean, improvised, and fatal. It captures a man not born to rule, but to run. The right side captures his fall. The Biograph Theater looms large, engraved in crisp gold relief, a marquee not of cinema, but of fate. Beneath its lights stands the Lady in Red, Anna Kumpanash, the informant who led him to his death. Moments after exiting the theatre, Dillinger was gunned down by federal agents. His final act played out beneath flickering reels and alleyway gunfire. The banner Public Enemy #1 returns here, not as an epithet, but as an epitaph. Above, the slide bears his name in Gothic script, flanked by gold scrollwork that tightens like tension behind the ejection port. Near the muzzle, a Prohibition-era Ford delivery car races forward, chased by a crouched agent with a Thompson submachine gun, movement etched into steel. The grip panel holds a stark portrait and inmate number 13,225, anchoring the legend in steel. It is a gun of myth, forged from flight and fire, a final tribute to the outlaw who died on the run. The top strap bears a spectral portrait of Dillinger himself, full figure, trench coat billowing, a weapon in hand. He stands alone in a gold-framed oval, as if mid-stride, fading into myth. Around him, the scroll tightens like smoke from a getaway car. This is not a monument. It is a man caught between flight and fate. The Thompson submachine gun appears on both pistols, not as an accessory, but as a heraldic emblem. Capone's Thompson is heavy, grounded, rendered with a drum mag. Dillinger's is lighter, faster, fitted with a stick mag. Together, they form a visual bookend to the age of the gangster, a time when the weapon became the icon and the outlaw became the legend. These pistols are built on the original US military configuration, complete with a flat mainspring housing, long trigger, high-polished blued steel, fixed sights, and ivory-style grips. Even the lanyard loop was retained, a quiet reminder of its martial roots before it was reborn in gangster hands. This was the sidearm issued to doughboys. Here it becomes the canvas for America's darker legends. Mike Dubber is one of the great true storytellers in steel. A Firearms Engravers Guild of America Master Engraver, with over 50 years of experience, Dubber has carved narrative into everything from Holland & Holland shotguns to Colt showpieces. His commissions have honoured kings, generals, and even popes. His work has won 6 Howard Dove Awards, including one for his haunting Trail of Tears Colt. His style is unmistakable. Deeply carved scrollwork, realistic portraiture, and a reverence for narrative symmetry. He does not decorate, he illustrates. Each detail in the Gangsters pair, each relief, each portrait, each flicker of gold was placed with historical intent. Each line was hand-cut. Each decision tells a story. A firearm isn't just a tool, it can become a canvas with a lineage. With the Gangsters, he hasn't just captured 2 criminals. He's engraved a contradiction, that in America, the outlaw doesn't just become the icon, he becomes the heirloom. Capone and Dillinger were more than criminals. They were characters. America didn't just fear them, it watched them, named them, mythologized them. Together, they are a study in contrasts, empire and escape, power and flight, fedora and trench coat. Mike Dubber has not just engraved 2 firearms, he has created a diptych of American violence, etched not in chalk outlines or newspaper ink, but in steel, scroll, and the mythology we never quite stop telling.